Boom, we're back. Another episode of Squeeze the Deck podcast, and I'm with my new mate Jacob Wells. Yeah. Jacob, thanks for doing this, mate. So before we get too deep, for anyone who doesn't know, you can see the million belts we've got behind us. World Kickboxing Champion.
Yeah, World Kickboxing, two-time European, British, and four-time K1 British and boxing champion as well.
Boxing champion as well.
But a license, that was a little bit,
Hey man, they all count, man.
Yeah.
They all count. So we were just briefly chatting off. He's actually a former opponent of a former guest of ours, Ruben Borello. So shout out Ruben. I'm sure we get into some of that. Let's just adjust that, mate, because we're a bit off tilt.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we're today. Can we say where we are? Or
of course,
undisclosed location.
No,
so
you're
we
good,
are.
you're good.
Well, you tell us.
We're Ashford, Surrey. Ashford, Surrey. So we're just right near Staines, Ali G.
I was literally just about to say Staines massive. If you know, you know. But we're showing our age there a bit, aren't we? So take us all the way back, mate. Where'd you grow up, and what sort of got you into martial arts?
So I was born in Hayes. Sorry, do you want me to look at the camera or look
whatever you want, mate. Yeah, we're just having a chat.
Sorry, I
You're the champ, mate. You tell me.
I was going to ask you before. So yeah, anyway, I was brought up in. I was born in Hillingdon, Hayes, and then moved to Hampton, Hamworth. Played football for a while. Had a few issues at school, and then got straight into martial arts about 15, 16, and then so I'm 31 now, so it's been a long.
Old man, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm getting on, mate.
Would you believe it? Mate, I wish I was 31. I'll tell you that. But so got into. Was it straight away kickboxing? Was it?
No, I started off boxing. We were boxing. Done a bit of that. I was just like going in there. I was like cannon fodder for the sort of bigger fighters, you know. Okay. I used to get in there, just have a move around with the bigger fighters. I was a really heavy kid, so you couldn't put me in with the juniors because I was too big for them. And then
you was one of them man.
I was like just one of them. I was like, they used to say I was like a Mong. They said I had like this Mong strength. They're like, spar with him. He's like a fucking like Mong, and I was just
Because I was the opposite. I was tiny till I was about 14, so I didn't get none of that. But where was this? Was it Hayes Boxing Club?
No, this was in Westside Boxing Gym.
Okay.
Johnny Hollands runs it. Incredible coach. He was doing the boxing there with me, and that's where I started. My grandad, he's dead now, bless him. But he took me there as a kid, and that's where I started and I learned. I was going to go down the boxing route, and one day he was like, right, well, a bloke he used to work for him, Marty, who trained me in kickboxing, works for my granddad. Really random. He went, he's got a kickboxing gym in Heathrow. And I went, all right, well, let's go check it out. And we went down there, and then he offered me a fight in Belfast Island. I swear to God, I was only 16.
That's a fun time, isn't it?
I was 16. This is no lie. I was 16 years of age, Belfast. It was like our team versus their team, but it was like a new generation kind of fight thing. We fought their guys, and they was like, they said, Jake's quite a strong lad. And they were going to put me with this other guy, and they were like, no, you can't put him with him. So they put me with this 32-year-old, and he was a bit of a lump, and I was fighting about 77, 76 kilos.
And how old are you at this point?
I was 16 years old. Yeah, I was a kid, mate, but I was like, you know when you could like lose weight, but you're just turning up and just whatever. Anyway, I got on the scale, I fought him, and that was good, and I knocked him out. I just literally went in there, I just done like 2 weeks worth of kicks. You know, classic, it was like, whatever. And I won, I stopped him, knocked him out. They were just like, shit, who the fuck's this kid? And then, and the rest was history. And then my journey started from there.
Because that's, to be 16 knocking out, would you say 32?
He was 32, you could tell he had manpower, but I just think where I was just fearless and just got on with it, I think, do you know what I mean?
Just young, dumb, full of cum.
I just didn't give a shit, I was just like, whatever. I was just sort of looking at him like that, like looking at him, but I didn't know what was going to happen. You know,
pressure's off you, It's not really there.
It was more on him, but he was a tough lad. But I stopped him.
Not tough enough though, apparently.
I was just throwing bombs at him, and where his defence was just like thing, I was just fucking catching him, and he just fell, and that was it.
Was it one of them things you was good straight away?
I've never been. I'm working on the technique side as much as I can. I'm trying to learn from all different coaches. There's things in my game I need to work, but I've always been. I believe, exceptionally determined and exceptionally heavy-handed. They've been my assets that have sort of carried me. The rest of the stuff is stuff I need to work on. Stuff in the ring. There's things I need to work. But as a fighter, determination and power has been my most.
But them things, to be fair, like them things, they're the ones you want to have, right? The other stuff you can work on more, can't you? If you can't hit hard and you're not that determined, that's quite a tough thing to work with, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you've got to have, I believe, at a good level, at domestic elite level, or whatever level, you need to have power, because you can be in like a situation where you feel like you're losing and you can find that shot out of nowhere, and the determination comes down to just carrying on, even if it gets hard. I mean, how many times have you had a fight and you're like, fucking hell, like, give us a minute, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's getting hard, but you keep going and you find a way, because I think them two things would summon me up as a fighter, to be honest. Yeah.
And apparently,
not doing bad. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I've got. Do you know what? I feel I've underachieved. I feel like I could have done more, because I messed about a lot in my early 20s.
You say done. You're still young. As
yeah. I want to give it another sort of few years, but I'm like, I feel like I could have done, like, there's been times I feel like I've underperformed and not quite done what I could have done, and I've thrown fights away from not getting started soon enough, and then I've started too late and I've absolutely battered them, and I'm like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? And I feel like I've thrown things away. But yeah, I'm learning.
And how many fights you had total?
I've had 44 fights in total. That's everything. 10 K1 fights, and the rest have been a mixture of full contact kickboxing and unlicensed boxing, say. And yeah, 44 fights altogether.
But a lot of fights.
But 10 pro K1.
Yeah, I got you. So if we go back to sort of like you're 16, you've just knocked out a grown man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what's your family saying? Are your family sort of like, what are you up to?
They were just like I've gone from this sort of like stroppy teenager to sort of going straight into this, playing football, messing around. And I don't think like they really understood the severe, like the how serious it was, you know, because then I was going in show, then I had a show in July. I thought that was in April, that first fight I explained, and then the second one was in like July. So the turnover was quite quick, but that was obviously in the UK, and then they all come to watch me, and they were like, oh right, okay, this is pretty. And I won that fight as well. I remember the guy, Jack Fields, his name was, from Britannia. It's crazy. It was all them years ago, and I remember all my opponents. But anyway, sorry, I just remembered. And and that was basically it. Yeah, and they see it, and they were like, yeah, fucking hell, this is it. And then that would just change my life. But it just all started from me just taking that risk and that step. I mean, I could have quite easily been, but I just wanted to do something. I just liked, I always wanted to do it. I always felt it was something for me, you know, and it was the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Have you ever done other martial arts, like grapplings and stuff like that?
No.
Never?
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Not. Yeah, towards the end, maybe that may be my go-to. Mm-hmm. That may be something I need to do, you know, less, you know, like my knees are sort of shot and like I can't get hit around there. You know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. How's your hands doing? Because that was one of the things, like I used to box before. That was one of the things I used to suffer with a lot.
Honestly, my hands are okay.
Yeah.
Considering.
Right, yeah.
And I never used to wrap my hands either. I have to wrap my hands now. I was just a fucking idiot.
That's kind of why, it's funny you say that, because that's kind of why I asked. When I was having a lot of hand troubles, I realised at a certain point I was like mummifying my hands and wrapping like 2 pairs of wraps on. Yeah. And I started going that route, not wrapping them when I was hitting the bags, and it helped me a lot.
Mate, honestly, I used to fucking have like 10-ounce gloves on, absolutely ripping the bag to pieces, like just like trying to hit as hard. You know what it's like when you're young. You're trying to prove something. You're just like fucking, you look back, you're like, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? But but as I got older, I've had to just take that bit more precaution in my training, and I've just got to be that little bit smarter. Like sometimes I hit the bag for like 10 threes, and I'm like, why have I just done that? Like I have, okay, I'm fit, conditioned, but we know that. Yeah. I've just absolutely torn my hands to pieces. Do you know what I mean? It's things like Tuesday, that. Yeah. I've just got the I've just gone in the gym and I've just just battered. And I'm like, I'm fucked now. That gets painful, but not nothing significant where I'm like, oh, do you know what I mean? I can't train, sort of thing.
So when you're 16 and stuff and you're fighting grown men, was it a decision? Was you like straight away, I want to be world champion, or was this just a hobby at this point?
I've just always rolled with it. I've had short-term goals, like, you know, making weight, getting in the ring, fighting, but I never really understood. I looked up to fighters in my gym, Marty Jr., and Marty, my trainer, and they had world titles, and they used to talk about them. So I was quite familiar with the idea of it, but I never really understood I'll be honest, I never really expected to. Just getting in the ring was just like, fucking hell, wow. You know what I mean? But but to actually be okay at something and do you know what I mean? I didn't really see it.
Was you like unsure yourself sort of thing?
I've always, I've always had like, I don't know, say confidence issues, but I've always been like, I don't know what word to use, but I've just always been like, it's what it is. I'll just get on with it. I'll go in there, give it everything I've got, and then I try to be like that. I try to be, you know what it's in life. You get your hopes up and things go wrong, and you kind of sometimes carry that through. You're confident, but you've always got to be open-minded to what could be. I'll go in this ring, I'll get fucking knocked clean out here, or I'll go and win. I'm just realistic. I look at it as a journey, not so much. Some people have fights and they're like, this fight's all or nothing. If I have to win this. And it's like, I just think that's ridiculous. I think you need to look at it over about a 10 fight period and then see what you can get from there.
Yeah, that's interesting because you do hear that a lot, don't you? I'm willing to die in there and this is the window and they're fighting for like an area type.
Yeah, and they get like stopped and they're like, like I said to you earlier, I said we've all been stopped, we've all been beat. There's always, you turn up, you think, right, every box is ticked, I'm good to go. Yeah, every box is ticked, and then they just come out, and then something, for some unknown reason, like an unknown fighter will come out of nowhere and just beat you, and you're like, fuck, like how, like you're in and out so quick, and you're like, what the fuck has just happened here? Like how has this happened? Point being, you just got to accept it's a journey, and when you lose, you always think, everyone's going to think I'm shit, but no one actually. I couldn't believe when I got stopped how many people said to me, I've been stopped, I've been knocked clean out. I couldn't believe how common it was. Or you know how it is, but you don't, until you're that person, you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah. But the reality is most people, like you're saying, your friends and stuff, the thought of even getting in a ring and fighting someone is so fucking way out there. It's like me or you fighting a dragon. Like, they don't see it the same way. So when you come back and you've lost, they're not seeing it like you're a loser, are they?
I just think at the end of the day, people that care about you just want you to be okay and just want you to be happy. Yeah. Like with Faith and stuff. She just, she wants me to win every fight, and we train and we take this so seriously. But she says to me, you've got to accept that things are going to go wrong. You're not going to win it all. Like, better fighters than myself have been beat. Like, as you know, way elite fighters get stopped all the time, and they carry on, And she said something to me, really good comment as well. Sorry to just change the subject.
No, go, I love it.
She said something to me once, and I thought, fucking hell, she's hit the nail on the head here. She said, when a fighter gets stopped on a show, do you ever think they're shit or they're no good? And I go, no, of course not. She goes, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, she just walked out the room.
You're just like, no, but you know what I mean? You say fucking, you never go, oh, they're shit, they've lost, oh, fucking, they got no. You think, oh, never mind, they'll come back, they'll be back. Yeah. And that's exactly, whenever someone loses, that's what I say to them. And you think, fuck, I never looked at it like that.
Yeah.
They never look at it and go, oh, you get people get kicked in the head, sparked out all the time, you're like, oh, do you know what I mean?
That's what happens, man. Yeah. That's what happens. You get Francis Ngannou wrap you around the head.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, anything can happen. Yeah. Especially in like hand-to-hand combat. Anything can happen.
Yeah, especially when people are kicking as well at the head, right?
Kicking, kneeing, like elbow, whatever it is, you're like, look, anything can happen. They've got a game plan, and you ain't utilise that. Yeah.
But that's the thing too. It's like you always see it one side of the coin, right? Like you said, you've ticked all the boxes, you've done this, you've done. So's he, right?
Yeah.
He's fucking done it as well.
Yeah.
You know
Because he's nervous, you're nervous. Yeah. He's got about 10 blokes watching your videos to find holes. I've got guys watching him, and then you meet in the middle, and it's like 50. I think at a good level, it's 50-50, regardless. You could be like, he's going to beat him, and it could go either way because it's hand-to-hand combat. It is what it is. And if people say different, listen, if someone had 10-0 record in K1 or Muay Thai, I would be like, who have you fought?
Is that right?
Who have you fought? I'll be like, boxing's a bit different. It's about, hit, not get. No, I'm not saying you want to get hit in them styles, but I just think that's my opinion. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you could just be an exceptional talent, but the 90%, they'll be like, out of 10 fights, 6-4, 7-3, 5-5.
Yeah.
And you think, but they're the ones you need to watch because they've had the hard fights and come back.
Straight away
they've had hard fights. You think, you fought someone that's had all wins. You think he might have been fighting shit. Yeah. But then you have someone that's like 5-5, for example, with a few big wins on it, big names. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. But it's a good point because a lot of people don't realise that.
No, they don't.
I remember being in a gym once, right, and the fella was a div. His name was Paul Zenos. Shout out Paul, wherever you are, you silly fuck.
Yes, Paul.
Shout out Big Paul. But he was bless him. I don't think he was a full ticket. He was, like when I was about 19, 20, he was about 40, right? He used to walk around the gym with a tight vest and a little hot pants shirt. One of them, right?
Bruv, them vests, honestly, they got to go, mate.
Exactly, big gold chain, looked like a stereotypical, you know what, right? Anyway, he used to walk around the gym and there was a guy in there, I forget the guy's name, but he was a bit of a Thai fighter and we used to spar a bit. I was a boxer and all that business. And we was chatting away, and he was telling me about his mate who's just had a fight, and I think he'd had 30 fights, and he'd lost 10, he'd won 20, which is good, right?
Right, yes.
Which is a good fight.
Yeah, very good.
And this silly Paul, bless him, we call him Silly Paul from now on, sort of just happened to be listening and was giving it, he's only won 20 of 30, he's shit, blah, blah. And it was like, bro,
mate.
It was like, you're so out there that it's not even worth talking to you.
It's like pub talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like pub talk. It's like going down the pub, like, and they have a few beers and they start larging up and you think, bruv, I'll see you outside, no problem.
Let's go outside. Well, that's what the other fella said to him, who was the Thai fighter too.
Of course,
he said to him, but if you'd have fought them 30 men, you'd have lost 30.
Of course,
But he couldn't compute it.
20 and 10 is a fucking good record, exceptional.
Against
record.
fighters, you're fighting real people.
Legit killers.
Yeah.
Like, there's levels, I'm sorry, but like I said, an average Joe won't understand that.
Or a silly Paul.
Or Paul.
We call him Silly Paul forever. Paul. If you're in touch with Paul Zenos, hashtag Silly Paul.
Yeah.
But there you go. I don't know why I went on a rant. I haven't seen him for about 15 years. But bless him.
Yes,
Shout out Paul. But what's your training like now? Because I'm looking at you now. You said 77 kilos you fought at in your first one. It's 16.
16, yeah. So I fight. So I've always fought between 72 and about 80 kilos. I've always sort of been within that.
And what are you naturally sitting in
I
now?
walk around about 87 kilos.
In shape?
That's me looking 86. I can go up to, if I get relaxed, let's say relaxed, up to about 90. So I have to be...
Said I'd have bought some
I have to be a little bit like, I've got like... Bruv, I can get like I have to.
No desire to fight heavyweight then, no.
No. I'm fucking. I ain't very tall either, so I'm like 5'10" at a push. So it's like I have to be mindful of that. You know, like I get. You know. So anyway, I walk around about between, let's just say about 85 to about 88 kilos. I walk around that.
And you're in shape at that weight.
That's me. That's me actively training and fit and not eating like a fucking, that's me being okay. Yeah. And I'll cut down to about 80 and then I'll probably do the last of obviously the water cut. Then I can cut down to about, so my last fight I come in at 75.5.
What's that like? Is that hard or is that?
It's if I do it quick, like I do notice a difference. If I go in at like 77, I do know I can feel a lot like stronger. It's just how you cut it and how you do it. You need to be careful with that. You know what I mean? You need to get that right, because a bad cut, or you lose too much in the evening, and then you get a bad night's sleep, for example, and then you try cut too much in the day. Do you know what I mean? And then it all starts going wrong. You've got to really. I wouldn't say I've got it better. I'm managing it better. But you've really got to keep on top of it. You've got to weigh stuff all the time. I fucking hate the scales. I hate the scales.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. I won't tell the story because I've told it on here before, but back in the day when I was 19, boxing, I had a dodgy set of scales. And I weighed it at 0.8 over what I was supposed to be.
Right, okay.
And I turned up and I was 0.8 over, and the coach looked at the scales and went, that's all right, just box 75. And I was like 5 kilos underweight now.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck this weight cut.
Yeah. It does make you think, because your body after is regulating. Yeah. 24 hours to get back to, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get back to, you'll have a bit back, but you're not going to, like sometimes I've had cuts and I come back and I'm exceptional and I'm good. Other times I've had cuts and I'm like, bruv, let's just get in there, let's just do this now, because I'm feeling like a bag of shit.
And what is it, 5 threes you fight?
5 threes or 3 threes.
3 threes. So that's a hard, I mean, again, for people that don't know, 3 minutes is a fucking long time, man.
Yeah, especially when someone's shitting on you, someone's on you.
And if you're tired early in the round, which we've all been, right? You get there and it's like...
Yeah. it's like as well, I can be a slow starter, which is something I'm coming out of, but I used to be a very slow starter. So I would be like slow at the start and get really strong towards the end, and I'd usually take them out later where they fucking attack me early and I have to adapt. Do you see what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're losing the fight and you've got to then chase it. So changes have been made, but if you cut too much weight, it can really affect the way you perform. Yeah. I think. That's what I think.
Anyway. What's the best weight you like fighting at? If it was up to
you? 70, 76, 76.5. Yeah. That's about right. I reckon I'm the top about right. I'm not big for that weight, but I'm in the middle, so I can survive at that weight. That's what I think.
Because you always get them tall gangly guys too, don't you? They look big, but then they've got like chips.
Yeah. See, I'm like the opposite. I'm like massive legs, like average body. So I'm like fit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I have to think, but like I said, I'm not tall, but I get like either really rangy or a little bit taller, and they're just kind of like me. Because these guys are cutting a lot of weight as well. These guys are doing like 9 kilos in a week. Some of these guys I fight, but you always know when someone's cutting a lot of weight, they're always like a little bit softer to the body,
right?
They're a little bit thin to the body. Mm-hmm. You can always see it in their eyes. You look at them and you think, you're fucked.
You're in trouble today.
You're like, what I mean is you've cut too much weight. You're not. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You can just see it. I can see it. It's like it's a way they sort of hold themselves and stuff like that. Some people just walk in and don't give a shit, and you think, oh fuck. Yeah. It's the ones that are calm and chilled, like sleeping before the fight. You know, they're just laying there. And you think, like, how is this guy just like laying there, like sleeping, like just like, but actually, like, not like pretending to just relax.
They're actually out. Yeah.
They're actually like sleeping.
And what are you like in the change room beforehand?
I'm like chatty, quite quiet, quite thing. I've had some where I'm just so nervous for no reason, and other ones I'm just laughing, joking. I'm just like chatting away.
Oh yeah, wow.
The best thing to do, if I could advise, from the best performances I've had, is just trying to like talk and have a joke and just try and, as hard as it is, because it is hard, it is horrible when you're fighting, like you're like a bit like, oh, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? It's a big show and that. The best thing to do is try, have a laugh, try relax, and just try see the good in it. Do you know what I mean? I think that helps. Like be laughing and joking, that helps. As hard as it is, sometimes they're laughing, you're just like, you're laughing so much, but you're trying, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you're in there and you're like you just can't even like fucking like communicate.
Yeah.
Like that's not a good stage to be in, because you're not taking things in. Did you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. You want to be in a mindset where, I think a perfect mindset is being able to relax, listen, engage, eye contact, and I think that's kind of how if I had a fighter, they're the things I'd be looking at before the fight. Yeah. Are they listening, you know, and stuff like that? Because if they're just sitting there like that, like I know they're just going to go out rabbit in headlights, and you know, it's 50-50.
And that's real. That's real. Because I might have told this on here before, guys, but it's quite a funny story. When I was 19, I was in a change room in the amateurs boxing, and there was a guy who was 29. We was a similar size, but he was a man, and I was young. We used to spar a lot, and the reason I bring that up is because we used to spar a lot, and he was good. Do you know what I mean? He could spar, but he'd never had a fight before. Yeah. I was a few fights in, and we was in the changing room, and he was going out before me, and he was doing exactly that, asking questions. What happens when this happens? And then what? And he's one of these blokes that was like quite muscle, tattoos everywhere, looked the part, but then once the time had come, it was a bit like, you're in trouble tonight, you know? And he went out and he got bounced around and knocked out in the first round. And but the reason I say it is because I was in there and I was almost a bit like catchy. I don't want to get near you in case I catch it. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't be near that energy.
Yeah, it's like, I know exactly what you mean. It's like in the shows they have the black or the white corner. Okay. You know, in the fit or you know, red or blue.
Red or blue, yeah.
And I don't care what anyone says. One of them corners, there's a pattern emerging here. Like one of the corners is fucking winning more than the other. So I'm thinking, shit, what's going on here? Like, do you know what I mean? Like you, for example, like you're in like the blue corner. And they're winning a lot. No, but you get energy off that. You're like, boom. This is a good changing room. There's good energy in here. But then you know you have them corners and you're like, bruv, they're coming in quick. They're coming out quicker than they're going out. And you're like, shit, like this is my fight. But it's not always the way, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Them things play tricks on you.
Fighters are superstitious too, don't they? How many times have you seen people that have to put the right glove on first? Have to wrap their hands a certain way.
I always, my team get the with me because I'm like, I always get them to do my hand wraps. I don't know why I do it. It's just, they're rapping it because they don't know what's right, how tight it's got to be. They don't feel what I feel. And I go, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I go, and they're looking at it. They know what I'm going to say. And I go, nah, can you cut that there? and it's Martin, my coach, and I do it, and he goes, you can see him looking. He knows it's going to come. He's very patient with me. He's great with me, honestly. And he's looking at me. But my point being that I've got these things I do. It's like they do my hands, and I'm like, nah, can you just redo it?
Even if it's perfect.
Yeah. And they go, and they're redoing it, and I'm like, they're like, is that right? And I'm going like that. And you can see him looking like, this is about a fucking 10-minute process, do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, it's little things. It's little things that you're familiar with that make it familiar for you, from the good times. I think you're trying to bring that, some sort of things that maybe worked before, is important, but just trying to be relaxed is so important. Breathing, breathing. You've got to regulate your breathing. Like, when you get nervous, you know yourself, when you're nervous, you can't fucking breathe properly.
Everything goes to shit as
well.
Yeah. You start tripping up steps and shit.
Yeah, it's just all going wrong. You think, oh, no. Do you know what I mean? Or I've had horrendous pad sessions before a fight, absolutely awful. Like, I'm thinking, this is not good. This is not.
Like in change room?
Yeah, in the change room before a fight, absolutely awful. And I've gone out and fought unbelievable. I've had really good pad sessions, and everyone's going, oh, wow. And I've had shit fights, and you think, there's just no consistency.
It don't mean nothing, does it?
It's all about the moment, the time, and how you deal with it, and styles. Yeah. Style of fights.
But also, there's with the mindset thing. Do you know who Chael Sonnen is? The UFC guy. UFC fighter, fought for titles. Big personality.
I'm not too familiar. I'm more, but yeah.
Doesn't matter anyway. He's one of these, he's saying about, like, how people say it's 70% mental, it's 90% mental. He said, listen, it's 100% physical. Yeah. It's all what you do when you get in there. And it's like, it's an interesting point, isn't it? Because, like you say, you have things, everything's right, and then you go in there and you fight like shit. And then other times it's like, it just doesn't matter.
It's like I've had it before where guys are about to fight, like from our team, and then someone else is in the changing room and they know the guy that my guy's fighting or my teammate's fighting. I'm just sitting there helping out, just helping my coach out. And they might go to them, oh yeah, he's a bit of a banger, this geezer. Oh, he's a bit strong, just watch his hand. And you can see,
shrinking.
Like, you can see that person, like, I'm thinking, bruv, why are you doing this? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but that's doubt. That's negative. That's not good. Like, you just think, do you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
And that could change the whole outlook of everything. He could be cagey. He could be thin. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Mate, and you think it's all them little things.
Mate, I tell you what I've seen as well with like teenagers that were a bit younger than me at the time, and like their dad showed up and they shrunk because the dad that talks too much. Do this, do that, and like they're in the change room looking, and as soon as they're buzzing, as soon as they see the dad show up, and now he's going to watch the fight, you can see him go like.
I see all the time when I PT younger guys and their dads are, and they are constantly looking at their dad. They are constantly going blah 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 blah, and do you know they want that approval? They're desperate for that approval. Like my kids, I'm going to start my son Albie. He's 5, and my daughter Ada, she's going to coming up 4, and I'm going to start them into it. Nice. But like, I'm never gonna. Do you know? I've got Sam and Dom, and I've already spoke to them at the gym, and I was like, look, can you guys train them? Because I want them to do it, but I don't want to. They get to a certain level, I can take over and help or whatever. But ultimately, I want them to enjoy it, and me teaching them, like, it's
different. Isn't it?
Because you just expect. I think you expect. Do you know? Not that you mean it in a horrible way. You just. Well, you want them to do well, and you care. Of course you do. So you're quite that can come off quite wrong. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But also, if you're teaching a kid in the gym that you don't know, he just comes to you. You teach him, don't you? You go home and forget about it.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas with a kid, if he's got to come home and now you're sitting on the sofa and you're still fucking nagging him about the kick he didn't throw, the whole thing becomes.
It just and it becomes like a whole household problem as well. Yeah. Like some of them kids have had a bad session, and like their dads. On the way home, that is a tense drive home. There's no talk. Like, I've had it with my granddad. My granddad, bless him, he was the best. My granddad. Anyone that's watching this knew my granddad. He was incredible. That's a picture of him there. That's, brilliant. That's him. But I wanted to get a big one. Anyway, he was very, very strong on me with fighting, but I don't know, it was a connection we had that only we understood. But yeah, if I had a bad session, he was like...
He'll let you know you had a bad session. We've all been there, right? And that car ride home is
it's just quiet. It's just quiet. And I'm like, fucking hell. I'm like, and he put the music on and all that, you know, because I didn't drive, like he was driving me there and back, and I was like, fucking hell. And then do you know what I mean? And that was how it used to be. But then it was good, it was amazing. If I'd done well, it was like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, that's good.
And you crave that good. So I wanted that from him, but I didn't. I just hate the bad. Like if I was running outside, like we used to do this thing, like at my old gym, we'd do exercises, and we used to all run outside. And he'd come out and watch me. And I'd be like, Grandad, no, I'm like, fucking hell, like, just a minute, mate. But he was on me all the time, like from a young age. So that was kind of drilled into me instinctively. And that's why I've carried it on, because from like a young age, he died 3 years ago. So from that, I've kind of trying to carry that. This is why I do all this, really. It's obviously because I enjoy it and love it, but I'm trying to carry that legacy from me and him through. I'm desperate to hold on to that, because they were the best moments of my life.
Yeah.
They were the best time of my life.
Yeah.
And if I can just keep hold of that, they're moments, because that's what keeps me close to him.
Yeah. Did he see you win a world title?
So basically he died of Parkinson's. It got really bad and it attacked his joints and all that. And one day he just died, and I was just like, But I was like, 3 weeks after he died, I said to my coach, I need to fight. I need to come out and fight. And I had a great performance. I won a K1 British title on John Duran's show.
Okay.
And John's the man, mate, right? And he matched me, and he was like, look, I've got to fight. Do you want to take it? He obviously knew Grandad died. He knew my relationship. My Grandad was special. And I went out and I delivered a head kick knockout. It was incredible. And I knew. And there's a picture. It's only obviously there's a picture of me holding the belt and sort of looking up, and I'm like, and you know, you go, oh, the people ask you, and they go, what are you doing? And I'm like, I actually was looking up to him to say, boom, you know, thank you, I love you, and you know, thanks for everything you've done. But yeah, that's why I do this. It's for my it's our thing.
Yeah, I got
that
you.
No one can touch.
Yeah.
That no matter what, whether I get there or I don't get there, or I win or I lose, like I said to you earlier, it's a journey, and that's what he taught me. It was, you know, keep going and never give up.
Yeah, but it's good that he praised you as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the one you get a lot. Is like you get that you watch the dad fucking shitting on the kid constant, and then when he does something good, they just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, so he was different. So if I was shit, he would not speak. So he was like the opposite. Like, you see some dads get involved, like, you know, football dads, they're the...
Oh, brutal.
Football dads, you think, fucking hell, like, you are giving
You
this...
must have been a player.
Yeah, literally, you are giving this kid some serious, like, mental health issues here. Like, you need to stop, like allow the kid to just play and enjoy it. Because, look, this football, no disrespect, as footballers, 1% make it to the big time.
Mate,
the other 99...
Yeah,
exactly, Exactly, that 1%. Like, you have to be a footballer, you have to be, like with fighting, you've just got to be quite tough, quite durable, bit of a dig. You can get to an okay position. You can get there. But football, like, these dads have got to realise, just let their kids enjoy it. Just let them fucking play.
Because it's like you said, I played football as a kid, right? And I played with some players that you looked at and went, never made it anywhere.
No, they didn't get anywhere.
So there's players that made them look like nothing. Like the level for anyone who doesn't play is...
Football is like a really hard one to...
And because everyone plays as well.
Yeah, everyone plays. Like, it's like our national sport, isn't it? So, like, that's what we all do. We all play football. We all just get on with it. Some are good, some are shit, some are... But you play football. It's just what we do. But I think it's, you know, moving forward, I think dads have got to realise that they may not hit the big time, so just let them just enjoy it. Yeah. And the more pressure you put on them, the worse it's going to be, and they're just going to hate it. Yeah. If you give them that respect and let them enjoy it, you know, they may get somewhere. But putting pressure on kids is no good, man.
Well, the thing that drives me nuts is when you see, you know, like a dad who's taking their kid to the martial art class and he's giving them advice and he's pushing. But you don't even train. You don't even know.
You know what? That is the worst. And I feel like it's like. Another story. Sorry, I've got so much. It's always just reeling off. It's just reeling off.
Let's go, son.
It's like I was cutting weight once, years and years ago, And this guy that was, he was at my not this gym, the gym before. And he was like, yeah, do this, do that, and cut away. And I'm thinking, look, bruv, you've never done this, and neither have I. So why should I listen to you? Like, I'm not being horrible. Like, you're just fucking sending me in that sauna.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Nah.
Like, bruv, not being disrespectful. Like, I'm not asking a lot, but at least like I've gone through it like once. Like, you feel what I'm feeling here, and then do you know what I mean? Yeah. You ain't done it neither have I. So why the fuck should I listen to you?
No.
I need someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I've got people around me, luckily, that know. I've got a lot. But yeah, you need to be careful what advice you listen to.
Oh, everyone's an expert now.
Yeah. Like if them dads are like giving them advice, like going back to that, if they give advice to their kids, and you're like, bro, that is the worst
It's the wrong advice. Mate,
like,
it's the wrong advice. I've taught kids with the grappling, teaching them, and the dad's there going, go this way, go, and you're like, whoa. No.
I'm the
wrong.
coach.
No.
I'm quite a thing with it. I'm like, look, let them train with me. I'll teach them the way. If you don't like it, you can always go down and have a gym. Like you could. I literally make it that clear. Not me being rude.
Yeah.
But if you don't like the way, go down and have a gym. And they never do.
But it goes back to what you're saying as well. Like, let the kid fucking enjoy it.
Just
You know what I mean? Unless he's 15, he's making his way. It's like, let him enjoy it.
Have you ever heard you learn the most when you're like play sparring?
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
They go, when you're hard sparring, you're not learning. You're learning when you're actually like play sparring.
Yeah.
Like, and that's actually like you can pull off the most amazing things when you're, if you could just like, but you can't, when there's pressure, you can't do that.
No, you do what you're good at.
Yeah, when you've got someone there like pressuring you, you can't relax. You ever had it like when you're training with you and your friend, and you're like, "God, that was amazing.
Yeah,
I look really good. I wish someone see that. I wish," and you're like, "Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's because you're relaxed.
You're not trying too hard.
Yeah, if you can just take that into whatever you do, I think that is the key.
I agree with
relaxing.
that. And I don't know if you know who John Danaher is. He's one of the best grappling coaches in the world. And he talks about like how 80% or so of your training, your live sparring should be with people you're better than. And I agree with it. I think there's a lot to that. Now, of course, you need your hard rounds with people that are going to push you. But I think if you are grappling or sparring or striking, whatever you're doing, with someone that you can kind of control, you got to be on, but like, you can control it and you're the boss in there.
Yeah.
I think you can make so many gains with that. And that's not being a bully. I think you can, because like you said, you're playful. You're in that zone of like, I can do my thing here.
Yeah, you're relaxed. You're not going to get punished for, like, you're not going to get like in grappling, you're not going to get choked. You're not going to get someone put you in a position where you're like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? Like, fucking.
Exactly.
I think that's important as well. I think that's important to be that. And also, they learn from you as well because they're stepping up.
Because they see the
levels. they learn from you. You learn from. It's actually quite a win-win sort of thing.
So,
do you know what I mean? But also, novices can also be a problem as well in kickboxing and boxing. Because they're all over the place. I ain't joking. You're going to think I'm winding you up. I had a guy punch me and kick me in the bollocks at the same time once. Oh. And I don't know how he done it, but yeah. And injuries and stuff like that.
What's his name? Jackie Chan?
Mate, I don't know. He literally went crunch like that. And I was like, bruv, like, don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that, please. Like, but you're trying to teach it, but they don't mean to. They're like, you see the look on their face. They're so sorry, but you're like, look. And then you end up having to coach them. But yeah, good and bad. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? Then you got that beginner, and then you got that kind of intermediate level.
They've got to be the right level.
Yeah, you've got to, like, that beginner, that's a dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they like miss and they run in with their head and stuff like that.
Oh, mate, I've been holding pads for people before and they punch my face. And you go, bro,
mate,
chill out, huh?
Yeah. You need to be careful of beginner, because they're so eager and they punch and they hold their breath and you think, look, just...
You're going to have a heart
Just
attack.
just breathe, man. Just breathe, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what's training like for you, mate? If you've got a fight coming up, how long before a fight do you like to go, right, now it's serious? Because you said you train year round, right?
Yeah. 6 to 8 weeks is where I train 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay.
Mostly 6 weeks because the cut will start about 8 weeks. And the intense training is about 6. Well, that's heavy sparring. That's what I call hard running, strength and conditioning. I keep training throughout, so I always like to feel. I like to spar. If I don't spar, I feel a bit like, I don't feel I have to sort of be in the mix all the time. So yeah, I think about 6 weeks.
And what's it look like? You say 2 or 3 times a day. If you start on a Monday morning, 6 weeks out,
it'll be like cardio pads or running. I like to do different things. Like one day it'll be like say different things. Like it'll be like striking, for example. or like strength conditioning and then sparring, or like or running and then pad. Do you know what I mean? If I do like pads and sparring, I find that it affects each other. Do you know what I mean? Because the pads we do, like it ain't like. It's like 10 threes, like that's like quite hard. Just a lot of movement. Like you're trying to push yourself. So yeah.
Yeah. So keep it sort of like different things on different days in terms of what it does to your body more.
Yeah, you've just got to be smart with it. If you've got heavy sparring, be smart. Do a light jog, do a bit of strength, not too much heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But like balance stuff, mobility, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Something that's going to help you perform. Because if it affects your sparring, it's kind of like detrimental to what you're doing. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Course, yeah.
You need to kind of, I've made that mistake before in the past. I've had a heavy pad session with loads of movement and then sparred, and I'm fucking gassing out, and I'm like, I've got no energy. And my coach was like, look, why are you doing that? Like, just, so you learn as you go, right? And your body goes through changes in camp as well. It's listening to your body. Rest is key as well. Like resting, napping, that like a day off, I think sleep is key.
It's massive, I think.
Sleep is key. If I don't sleep, I'm like,
I was going to say, if you don't sleep, that's what I was about to say, because if you don't sleep, you're fucked anyway. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, if I get a bad sleep, my day's like thing, and then I'm heavily like on like espresso coffees. I'm trying to wake up, and no matter what I do, I'm never going to feel great. Sleep is key.
Yeah. Do you do any like the heart rate monitors and the whoop straps and all that shit?
No, and I need to, but I need to sort of keep on top of that. That's something I need to definitely start doing. That's something I'm going to bring into this camp. Yeah, like I say, you're constantly evolving and learning, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, man. And I think you can't do too much too soon either.
No,
because I've said this on here before as well. Like, you go in the gym sometimes and there's the geezer who's got all the gear. He's got like a rattling fucking supplement pack in his bag.
Yeah.
He does all of the right things. He does this, he does that.
Yeah.
But he's like average.
Yeah.
Best, right?
Yeah.
And it's not work. Like, and then there's a guy who's got a shitty t-shirt and just wakes up and goes to the gym and he's the guy. You know
just natural, naturally got it. Where some people like it's that saying all the gear, no idea.
No idea, yeah.
That is the truest thing. I've seen guys come in the gym and you think, wow, they've got like the custom fly gloves, and you think, wow, this guy, look at he's in shape, he looks unreal. You think, oh, it's going to be hard rounds tonight. You spar him, you're like, is this geezer for real?
Yeah.
You're almost like trying not to hit him. Yeah. Does that make sense? Because I've had it before, I'm sparring and I'm thinking, bruv, like you got to move. Like, you ain't going to survive. Like, you've got to, do you know what I mean? You're almost going like that with them, and you're trying to thing, and they're like, but then other times I've had it where you think, oh yeah, they look like a bag of shit. You come out and you have the hardest round of your life, and you think, who the fuck is that? Do you know? So it is going back to what you say. It's exactly that. Yeah. It's exactly that. It's the individual. Never judge. I think that's important. Yeah. Never judge.
And talent's a real thing.
Yeah, talent. Yeah, of course it is.
For anyone who's been around any fight gyms, like sometimes you just get in there with someone for whatever reason, and then it's just like, this geezer's got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't put your finger on it.
They're kicking you, they're hitting you with 3-4 punches. You're getting absolutely blitzed, and you're like, I've got to do something. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting shown up here. I think as well, when a gym comes to your gym to spar, there's always a bit of needle, isn't there?
Oh, always. Yeah.
It's always a bit of needle. It ain't personal.
Especially if it's at your gym, I find.
Yeah, if they come to you.
You know, that was like, I was at Ashford Boxing Club, and they're like, don't really travel for sparring. People travel to us, because we had a big gym and whatever. And it was them days are like everyone switched on, because it's like they're coming to our house essentially, isn't they?
Yeah, it's that thing, isn't it? It's that I don't want to give ground it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got to give this person something to think about. They've got to leave there going, he's good. You want that, because at the end of the day, compliments are nice. You want people to think you're good. You want people to think you train hard, your condition. If things go wrong, they go wrong, but you want to give a good account of yourself, no matter what you do. Like, if I spar someone good, I don't leave them alone. I'm like, oh, do you want to spar? And they're like, yeah, all right, yeah. They spar me, and then I'll go back to them. I go, do you want to spar? And they're thinking,
leave off, mate. I'm married.
This guy's just fuck off, like, what is it? But that's me. Yeah. I'll put myself in the firing line every time. I don't get, but it's not because I'm like being stupid. It's because I value their training so much. I feel like, wow, I want to learn, and that's all it is. I think if you got someone good in your gym, like, you have to pester them. You have to be, can you train? To the point where they're like, mate, bruv, will you just fuck off? Like,
fuck alone, yeah.
But it's like, to get good, I think you need to train with, people that
I think that's how you get good, because you know what, at the end, there was a fella I've had on here recently, shout out Dominic Dillon, he's one of the top jiu-jitsu black belts around, he's a world catch wrestling champion. And he said that too, like when he was coming up and he was going through the ranks and that, he said he'd sit there some days and he'd have that feeling of like, oh, fuck, that guy's good, I don't want to spar him. And he said as soon as he had that feeling, he'd make himself spar them twice. Yeah. And I thought, it's like, that's great, isn't it, you know?
Yeah, you've got to, even if you're nervous, even if you're like scared, even if you're like feeling, oh, I can't, just fucking do it. Just do it. Just, do you know what? Fuck it. And I think you do that so much, you get confident. You just got to throw yourself out there. And you know what, like we said earlier on the thing, no one actually, like, it's only you that's really bothered by it. Yeah. Everyone's on their own journey. You know,
they're not thinking of you when they're at home, are they? You're thinking about it.
They don't give a shit. No. They don't care about it. They care about you in the sense of like, oh, you okay? And but really, I'm not bothered.
And it's like you said, when you're in it like the way you are, where you're training all the time, it's a job. So like if you're in the office in a bank on a Monday, or if you have a bad day, it is what it is, isn't it? And that happens in everything. So like if you're having a bad day of sparring, and that's another thing too. You have days of sparring, you know, where you're a little bit better than this person, but on certain days they might get you, and that plays on your mind. It all ties in, doesn't it?
If they've got a fight coming up and they're a little bit sharper, and you're out of camp and you're sparring, they're gonna be that little bit. So you've got to, that's why I think it's important to always stay active with sparring. Always spar. Even when I retire, I'll be sparring until I'm 60. Because I hope so. If I'm still here, I hope so, because I always want to stay sharp. I always want to be, because you don't know. You go on the street and you know what I mean. You know what it's like when you're driving. Like mate, like, do you know what I mean? Like, mate, road rage, like. It's like, you know what I mean, some of them, like, they go past, they give it all that, and then you get to the lights, you're like, right, this is, right, are we doing this?
I've had people jump out on me.
Yeah, mate, like, a lot of them fuck off and just go.
They decide it's not a good idea.
But, like, again, it's that small percentage that want to get out, and you're like, right, I've got two options here. The best thing to do is to drive off and ignore it. Yeah. As hard as that may be, because you think, look, you know, because if you start hitting them, and they go down, and you know, you don't mean to, and you hurt. Do you know what I mean?
Especially come around here, look.
Yeah. I mean, like, people look at me and they're like, but like they look at me and they think, whatever, fucking whatever, mate. They don't know me, but when I start talking and shouting, they're a bit like, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because it's how you kind of hold yourself. But I think the best thing to do in any altercation as an athlete is just to walk away. You have to. It's hard as it is.
The downside of that is so ridiculous for the sake of you having the ump for half hour.
It is so hard. It is so hard to walk away. But I've had it like in restaurants, and I've had like little rows, and I think, or wherever I'm out on nights out, and I've walked away, and I'm like. And I'm like proper, like to the point. I've got to go home. The night's I drink. Do you know what? Fucking cheers, mate. You just fucking ruined my night. Yeah. But they don't give a shit. They've probably done it to about 10 different blokes. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But I think a big part of that as well is like you're saying, if shit hits the fan, you're ready for the next step.
Yeah.
There's no next step.
I know where that road leads.
But there's no next step for them.
No. Their next step is getting nicked. You know, they do the old shout but move back shit. I'm looking at this to fight to the death. Like let's get outside. Yeah. I've been there. I know where this is going. Like you don't want to be rolling around on the floor. Yeah. Bits going missing and all that. Do you know what I mean? Fucking bit, you know what I mean?
Of course, But that's when I say there's no next stage for them, the end of the fight is just an argument. It gets broken up.
Yeah, because that's how it is. Because 90% of people can't handle confrontation. No. If I believe I'm right and they're doing wrong, I will stand up for that and I will fucking get to the bottom of it. If I start on someone and they sort of back down, I'm instantly like, okay, look, cool, like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's if they start and then fire back at me, it's especially as alcohol involved. Drinking's bad. Never be. I think if you put yourself in them environments, like clubs,
mate, go home, get in bed at 10 o'clock.
Just go on. Honestly,
home, be in bed at 10.
Don't even bother.
Chill out.
But that's what I'd say. Drinking.
Lesson of the day.
Don't drinking and all that. Because when people are drunk, you know yourself. When you have a drink, you ain't quite yourself. You're not quite like I turn into this like not like bad, but I just like all fucks.
You turn into a gremlin? Are you like
no, like I just my fear of like is gone. Like I just say things and I'm like, dude, and I'm like, why have I done? And you wake up and you're like, oh god, why was I? Do you know what I mean? Like, not even like you're rude, but you're just up front and you make people uncomfortable. You know, I don't want to be that guy. I just want to be someone. I'd rather be quiet and not say much and just sit back and and if they talk to me, they talk to me. But when you're drunk, it's like, depending how you feel, it can go. But I don't really drink anyway, so.
I stopped drinking when I was 18, mate.
Yeah, I've just come away from it completely. I had a little spell, but I've come away from it because it's just anything bad that's happened in my life has come through alcohol. Anything bad. So you've got to look at that as a whole, haven't you, and think, I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me, but depends how you're wired up and how you've been brought up, and if you've got issues as a kid, and you've got issues growing up, and things that have bothered you that haven't quite addressed,
they come out.
They come out.
Which, let's be honest, if you're fighting, there's a reason you're fighting. I've said this on here with multiple people too. There's a reason people fight when you haven't got to, right? Yeah. Like you choose to go to a gym and choose to train.
Choose to fight, yeah.
There's something up there, right? And it doesn't mean you've been touched by Uncle Roger or anything, but there's something not quite happy there, isn't it?
There's something deeper. I always see when I see people depressed, angry, and I'm thinking there's something bothering you. They think I don't know, but I know because I've fucking been there. I'm looking them in the eye, and I'm thinking there's something bothering you. You know what I'm trying to say? So just be honest.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, but you know yourself, like you're 31, you said now. Like the way you see the world from when you was 18. I don't know if smart is the right word, because some people are fucking stupid as they get older. But do you know what I'm saying? Like you see things different, don't you?
If I knew what I knew at 18, fucking hell, mate.
I'd be investing in Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. You have to go through them lessons to learn. For me to say, I'm still learning, of course I am, but to make them mistakes and be more calm, be kind to people, listen to people, try to help people. If someone's down, try to bring it. All them things I've learned over time. So, you've got to try and just be a good person. Like, be trustworthy. Don't lie. Don't be. Just stick to them basic things, and that's what you learn.
Basic morals of life.
Morals, and I think if you're honest with people, I don't think you can go wrong with that.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, because if you're honest and you're not lying and you're not stealing and all them things, if you stick to that, what can people really say? They don't like you. Well, that's on you, bro.
What can I do there?
That's on you.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe you're the problem, not me.
And most probably you're the problem, right?
Reality. Yeah, and it's what it is.
Exactly. So if we go to your career and stuff, mate, like the progression through your career, as we said, like you world title, you touched on your granddad, and whatnot. Like, when did it become sort of like, this is real, this is what I do?
When I started K1.
Right.
Because I didn't have him.
Ah, okay. So you're a grown man at this point and you're ready to go.
When I didn't have, when he died, I felt a part of me was not missing, not died, but it was a part of me that was just... It was like, do you know when they say you don't know what you've lost till you've lost it? Yeah. Is that the right thing?
Don't know what you've got till it's
gone. You don't know where it's got to go. There we go. That was what it was with him. It's like people just say to me, you ain't going to be around forever, enjoy it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because you think people are going to live forever.
You don't, yeah.
And when they're gone, you're like, oh my goodness, he's gone. That's it. That's it. That's when it got real for me. When I had to not think for myself, but when I'm doing this, when I'm carrying the legacy for me and him.
And have you got kids and stuff at this point?
I've got kids, yeah. But yeah, that's when it got... When I started the K1, I would use that time frame. For when I started the K1, the pro K1, not like this, like top shows, top promotions. Like this is not like, this ain't just like some punks off the street.
Real dangerous fighters.
These are proper fighters, mate.
Yeah.
That's for me when I felt it got serious.
So, if the difference between when you're 18, was it did the fun go in, or did the fun go away when you got more serious? Or
I just used to fight on just raw emotion, and I had a lot of fights. I was successful in a lot of my fights. Maybe luck, maybe time. It could have been anything, but yeah, I just used to go through the motions. I started so young, I just used to go through it. And I had something like 9 stoppages in a row. And that's going to get to your head. I was only between 17 and 20, 19.
You're grown men as well, yeah, mate.
Come on, So people are talking about you. And it gets to your head. And then all of a sudden you hit a dip in your career and you're like, shit. Because you go up the ladder, you go right up the ladder. And then you're getting beat by these guys that are my age now, fighting them younger guys or you're whatever, and you're getting, and they're beating you because they're that bit smarter, they're that bit clued up, they can work you out. So then I had a bit of a dip in my career, and then I come through it. But you need that in your career. If you're having, like I said to you, if you're having a career, you've got to have them low moments to get better. You have to. Yeah. You have to lose to get better. Like I've learned from losses. And when I win, I'm like, yeah, cool, won, boom, what's next? I don't even look at what went wrong. And there's so many things wrong with the win. So much wrong with it. But you don't look at that. Yeah. You just look at, oh, won, whatever, let's go. Yeah. You lose, you're like, fuck. Like, I've got to fucking do something here. And that's what I'd say. And
I'll tell you what, it's difficult. You tell me, you know better than me. It's difficult. Is like, because if you're like, for instance, in a sport like boxing, even though it's similar, like Anthony Joshua, as soon as he's pro, he's got no concerns of anything else in the world, right? He can just focus on boxing. Whereas in a sport like kickboxing, I'm assuming you still got to make a living, right?
Yeah, I'm a PT. I teach what I do as a profession, and I'm like, yeah, it's hard. Like I people rely on me. I've got to provide a service, and everyone's different. Everyone's different levels, so I've got to be fucking on it. I can't just go up and do the same shit. They'll be like, you know what I mean? I've kept my clients for these amount of years because I've adapted their training throughout. You know, they all want different things. Some just want to get fit. Some want confidence. Some just want to film themselves on the fucking video and put it on Instagram. Some want to get to fighting, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I'm here for that. I'm cool with whatever. First thing I do when I meet a new client, I go, right, two things here. Well, one main thing here, we're not going to lie to each other. We're going to be honest with each other. And they look at me and they go, fuck me, what's his problem? And it's not that, because I'm like, you're paying me a service and I'm not going to lie to you and you're not going to lie to me, okay? You stick to this, you'll be, do you know what I'm trying to say? Course, yeah. So I set this thing straight away. They're like, oh, fuck me, he's a bit intense. It's not that I'm intense. It's just, you want something out of this. Yeah. I want to get you to that. Yeah. You fuck about, this ain't going to work. Or this could take 2 years, or this can take 10 years. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And that's what I try and do. I try to say, look, be honest with me, and I'll be honest with you. Yeah. And then you can kind of roll it off that. Yeah. Well,
it's funny, like you said, about people who are trying to get something out of it. Like, they don't care how you feel either, do they? You're tired from training, you've got to fight in 4 weeks, your knee hurts. They're like, well, but this is my time.
Yeah, you know they're like, well, I've booked you for an hour. Yeah. Do you want my fucking
dance with me, monkey? Do you know what I mean?
You guys got to be enthusiastic. You got to be, over time you get to know them and they understand your needs that little bit more. But when you've got some clients, their time frame so quick, they're like in out. They don't really care. Some women I train, they just want to talk and tell me shit, and I'm like,
some want something else as well.
And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, fucking hell, like, we're like, what are we doing here? Yeah, do you know what I mean? But look, being a PT, it's a funny industry. Yeah. It's funny, great industry, great job. I love my job. You know, I'm my own boss, but it's a funny time. I've met some characters.
You meet some characters, man. When I was PTing, like in same gym with Silly Paul, actually. Shout out again for Silly Paul. Shout out big Silly Paul. But I was in the gym over there working, and I was like 19, 20, just PTing people, normal PT, not boxing, nothing. And I used to have a guy come in, I won't mention his name for obvious reasons, you'll understand why in a minute, but he used to come in, he was like a big shot banker, you know, I'm assuming, if not a millionaire close, you know, like, you know, whatever. And he used to come in and I was like his agony aunt. Right? And he's about 40, he could have been my dad, right?
Yeah,
45. And he's coming in and he's telling me like how he's cheating on the wife with a nanny, but in a way of like trying to ask advice, and he'd sort of like, you know, and I'm looking, I'm like 19, I'm like, what advice are you expecting from me?
No, because you're put in a difficult situation then. You're like, right, do you want me to be honest with you about how you're fucking behaving, or do you want me to just tell you what you want to hear? Yeah. That's what do you know what I'm trying to say? Because you're like, if I hurt their feelings, do you know what I mean? Your best thing to do is just go, oh really?
One way or the other. I used to steer into it the other way, so because then you sort of become like the mate, don't you? Yeah. And I used to say to him, well, here's an idea, stop fucking the Polish mate. And he was kind of like, ha ha ha, not that he was ever going to stop, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we were having this kind of conversation, but you know, you do get funny things.
Yeah, I've heard some stories. I can't even fucking repeat. Some of the shit I've heard from women and blokes is and I'm like, have they really just fucking told me that? Like they've trained me for like 3 hours in their whole life. Like can you trust? Like you can trust me because I'm fucking. You know,
telling no one.
I like one. I'm not like I'm interested to get you better, but I'm not in. You know what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Well, mate, I had a situation as well. Same gym actually. It was all kicking off in Canary Wharf, where I used to train. Yeah. I don't know if they were married, but definitely engaged as they wasn't. Couple. And they both used to tell me stories of what they was up to outside. And I trained both of them, right? They're telling me stories, and I'm like, yo,
yeah, I'm
only trying to get you to do some press ups.
Yeah.
But it's some funny things. But going back to that, like when you said about the people don't care how you feel and stuff, like when I was talking to Ruben, shout out Ruben Borello, friend of the show.
Yes, Ruben.
Past opponent.
Yes, Ruben.
Great
fighter.
He's a great guy as well.
Yeah,
lovely
nice
fella.
guy, yeah.
But we was talking as well, like after he got knocked out in a fight, he said like, you know, whatever time he got knocked out on, say it was a Saturday night, the next morning at 8 a.m. he had a private.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out cold. He's got a whole pads and stuff.
I mean, your mental health, like,
Mate.
just because I've been stopped and stuff, and I've been that, and it's like trying to wrap your head around just going in a gym, and you're thinking, oh my God, everyone thinks I'm shit. Oh, they're fucking. You do get these waves of anxiety that go into it. Like I said to you earlier, no one gives a shit. Because after about 10 minutes, start talking to them. If they're going to say shit, it's already done. It's not going to be like, it's not going to be there. It's going to be when you're not, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's already done. The shit talking's already done.
Yeah.
So like, what I'm trying to say is, it is hard. The anxiety that comes with it. But you just got to realise that you're not the only one. This happens a lot.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you say, a lot of people have been there, haven't they? You know what I mean? It is what it
is. It is real. Like I said to you, when I got stopped, I was like, oh my goodness, there was top fighters that are incredible telling me, yeah, I've been stopped, I've been knocked out cold 4 times. They've had like 40 odd fights. And I'm like, wow, like knocked out 4, like, but they're like, if I don't take that risk, Jake, how am I going to get to where I want to get? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lost, but I come back. And that's what I like. I respect people that have maybe had a bad night but come back. Yeah. They're the ones you got to watch. That's why I go back to them records. Yeah. They're mixed records. Because clearly they've lost. And they're still going. They're the ones you got to watch.
But it is what it is, isn't it? Like some of the greatest fights in history have got loads of losses on their record. Yeah, it just is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Mike Tyson got knocked out 6 times.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And how good's he? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there was a few issues going on, obviously. Lennox Lewis got knocked out. Yeah. I mean, all the great fighters have been stopped. But they come back. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about.
And it's any given night as well, isn't it? Like Mike Tyson's a great example because there's like, he had about 5 careers in a career, really. Yeah, didn't he? Like if you look at him from the late 80s to when he fought Lennox Lewis, it's essentially 2 different fighters, isn't it?
I mean, his lifestyle quite happened, didn't it? I think in the end. But
that level of fame, I don't think is good for you either. Like if you look at Conor McGregor in the UFC, that level of fame's got to weigh heavy on you.
What a fighter he was. As a featherweight, what a fighter he was. I feel when he went up in weight, I don't think he was strong enough. I don't think he quite had. But he's strong enough, of course. You know what I mean? But there's levels of
elite
power.
Level, 10 pounds is a big deal.
Yeah, there's level, and they're like he ain't that he ain't that size.
I also think it's the level of fame. Like when he was 25, he was on the dole. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like at 35, he's probably a billionaire. Close.
Yeah, but it's like he doesn't need to do it. He's like he's good, but something will always bring him back. That voice in his head will always say, "There's one more fight," and then you need that person with you to say, "No." That's enough. Yeah. As hard as this is, we'll get through this together. But you have to stop at any level. You know, even one day, even at me, like nowhere near his level, but even I will be like, one day, my voice will be like, oh, just keep going. One more, I'll be like 38, 39, 40. Keep going. Like, my body's shutting down with every moment. And do you know what I mean?
So common, man.
Yeah, and you're like, you go on that one last fight and you get seriously hurt and you're like, and then after it's over, you're like, I didn't need to take that. I'd rather get out relatively unscathed and then pass on what I've learned.
Mate, I tell you what, I was speaking to someone the other day on here on the podcast about this, about like he's finished fighting, do you know what I mean? I think he's 40, 41 sort of age. And he said he still wakes up some mornings, like he's making the coffee, he's like, I'm going to fight again. Yeah. He's like, he's fidgety and he's like dropping the kids off and like, and it gets to lunchtime and he's like, what am I fucking talking about? I'm fucking long gone. But it still crops up inside him.
You think some of these guys have been fighting for like 20 years? And it's like been their life. It's what their existence has been based on. It's all they talk about. It's all people talk about. They don't go, oh, how are you? How's work? They go, how's the fighting?
Of course they do.
Do you know, you think like when I see this is just me when I go out. Oh, Joe, how you doing? Oh, how's the fighting? How's the training? You're like fucking hell, like. And then you're like, fuck me, kiss a minute, will you? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then do you know what I'm trying to say? You're constantly engaging in that. So when you step away from that life.
And also, people don't know how to be an adult with that because the last time they weren't doing it, they was 9.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The last time they weren't doing it, they was 13 years old.
And time goes so quick.
Of course it does.
Without you realising you're like 40 and you're like, oh my goodness, this has gone so quick. And, I'm at the, I've got to stop because then what happens is that you put your family through a lot. Like when I fight, I put my relationship through a lot. Like Faith goes through a lot when I'm fighting. the emotional roller coaster that a fighter goes through is hard for a part. You have to have a particular sort of partner that understands. I've been with partners before, they don't understand. I've been with Faith, 6-7 years, and she's been great. She understands.
Special type of woman, isn't it?
She understands, like when I'm cutting weight, she's getting me in and out of the bath. She's
hands-on.
She's doing my meals. She knows, and it's not like I expect it of her, but it's like she's just a big part of it, you know. And whether I win or lose or whatever happens, she's there.
Yeah.
She's the one that has to pick up the pieces and rebuild me to go again.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like what people see of me in the gym or outside isn't necessarily what she sees here. What she sees here with like me maybe being upset or depressed or I can't do this anymore, this is too much, this is too hard. She's got the job of, and equally I have with her as well with anything, you know. And that's what I think a good relationship is. I think being a fighter, you need to, if you've got a family, you need a woman that understands. You need a woman that wants the best for you, not that, do you know what I mean?
Fuck right. You can't have a chaos indoors as well.
No.
It's hard enough.
I mean, it's okay to row and have, you know, all that, you know, an argument's good. An argument's good sometimes. You know, sometimes because it kind of clears the air a little bit. They may be frustrated about things or, you know, like sometimes I talk about my problems to her all the time. I'm like, this is fucking boring, blah, blah. And I think sometimes you know, I need to ask her how she's feeling.
Sometimes she's like, yeah.
This is very one way.
Yeah.
And she says it to me like, you know, you don't listen to what I say. And I'm like, yeah, I fucking do. And then I go upstairs and I'm like, I'm not listening to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'm starting to do that and I'm learning as I'm going. You know, I'm learning as I'm going because I want it to last.
Yeah.
But
no one wants to be the old grizzly geezer that Mrs. has left him.
Because we all end up just bitter and like after. But she and the kids are my life. You know? So, yeah.
That's right, man. How old's your oldest kid?
My oldest daughter is Maya from another relationship. She's 12.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying is she's aware of what goes on.
They've seen me on the Albion A today because it's all pay-per-viewed now. It's all streamed, isn't it? And they watch me and luckily they've watched me and it's all.
And what does she think of it?
My oldest doesn't really say much. She's like, oh well, she's quite quiet. But my other two love it.
They're into it.
Yeah, they're like, Dad. They go on the the Alexa like, Daddy. They go, Daddy fighting and all that. And he's like, I don't know what it is. And I'm like, you got to say that Jacob Wells kickboxing. And he comes out and they watch it. And you know what I'm saying is they've been around it. My younger two, so they're more likely to do it. Not because I'm going, oh, do it. You know, they're watching me. They're seeing me go to the gym all the time. I'm always involved with it, so it's in them to do it without realising they're probably going to pick it up. But my oldest is obviously she's with another partner, and that's not really been with her. Where the other little two.
But I think that's how it's got to be. Like if you push a kid into football, it's okay, and you can't push a kid into fighting. It's too hard, isn't it? It's too tough.
I wouldn't expect anyone to do it. I say to my friends, they're like, "Oh, I need to try, and I'm like, "Look, do you really want to do this? Like, do you understand how hard this is? Like, this is like." Really hard, like, and there's no shame in not doing it. Just train and just enjoy the journey. If you want to fight, that's cool, do it. But it's gonna take you to it's gonna push you to limits you didn't even know you fucking had.
Yeah, and also be clever with it. There's white collar options for you as well, isn't there? Do you know what I mean?
The old white collar. I mean, how many of them now are pro boxers, aren't they?
Mate.
They're preaching.
The old white collar tough guy. Yeah.
They're preaching to everyone now, aren't they? Yeah, do this, do that.
I was speaking to someone recently. I would mention his name, but I don't know his name, so I'm not sure. But he was in a gym. He was in grappling, and he was saying to me, you know, because I spoken to him about boxing and whatever. Oh yeah, I've boxed. You know, I've had 4 bouts and I won them all. Right, what club do you go for? It was white collar, wasn't it? And you know, you just not that I'm knocking it, guys, but kind of knocking it. You know, you just kind of go like, right. Don't tell me you're a boxer.
There's 2 white collar levels now. Yeah. There's the cancer research thing, the one which is incredible, great cause. I mean, incredible what they're doing for that cause. The fact they get in the ring, which is a big thing. Yeah. You got them ones, and then you've got the ones that actually go in 10 ounces and actually have a fair thing. I mean, do you know what I'm trying to say? There's levels to it. And so you've got to take that, like, you know, I mean, they're doing it, but when like they're doing it and then they're trying to tell a seasoned fighter how to fight. And
that's what I'm getting. You explained it better to me. Yeah, exactly. When they start playing the Billy Big Potato stuff, and you know, you're a bit like, Mate, slow down.
Like you've done something for a good cause.
Yeah.
You've done something great.
Exactly.
Like I respect you,
Yeah.
but don't take the piss.
Yeah, don't start. Exactly.
Don't take the piss.
Well, I've been around it as well with people. I've been around it with people that have got like their mates around, and they're like sharing war stuff, and all the mates are like, in awe of them. And you know when you're sitting there, you're like, I got to take myself out because I don't want to knock him in front of his mates, but at the same time, it's getting a bit fucking silly here. Do you know what I mean?
Like it's like if you let them have their moment, like you don't want to embarrass them, you want to have the moment, but if they ask you an opinion and you say to them, do you want me to be honest with you? And they go, what do you mean honest? And then you go, okay, don't worry about it. But you know, don't worry about it. And you're like, do you want me to be honest with you? Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm trying to think, I'm thinking I've had so many good ideas, and they're talking about how they got a hit in this certain way.
When they start exaggerating, getting hit too. They start telling, and then he was this, and then he was really bloody, and you're like, bro, I was there.
You're like, they might have took a couple of jabs, a bit of blood. I mean, like, come on, like,
stop it, stop it.
There's levels to this, you know. But I respect anyone that gets in the ring, but I don't respect people that do it for an image to beat. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like some people just do it they just do it to kind of
tell their mates they're tough.
Yeah, tell their mates they're tough, and they do it and they go to the pubs and you think, bruv, like,
got no idea.
Like
like,
what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, just if you're doing it for that reason, it's the wrong reason because you'll get found out. You've got genuine killers that just train because they love to fight. Do you know what I mean? And no matter what you hit them with or do to them, they're going to come back.
They just love it.
They just love it.
But this goes back to the other thing. Skills aside, some people are natural fighters and some ain't.
Some are just born killers. Some are just born killers. Some are just born killers without even realising because they get in fights and they're like, do you know what I'm trying to say? They don't even realise what they got and they're in this water and they're like, oh my God, is that me? They look back and they're like, wow, how did I? Because it's natural. It's in them. Where some get hit, it gets too much and they go down, they hit the deck. And again, there's no shame in that because if you're hurt, you're hurt. It is what it is. You get stopped, but there's different levels to
100%
to being tough and game. Like some people get like you can't see, you've been hit so hard, like you just don't know what's going on. But I just think there's levels to everything. I think you just gotta, if you're kind of just starting. If you're starting out and you've only done a little bit,
Stop coaching your mates and telling them how tough you are because you're driving me fucking mad.
And like the status is about like fighting. They're like, AJ should have done this, bruv. Come on. Like,
should he? Should he, sweetheart?
AJ's hands were low. And it's like, okay, cool, but like this is like the elite level.
But that's the problem. That's what you just said, where you say his hands were low. His hands were low, but there's a lot fucking more going on there.
Yeah, but the geezer punching him is like an elite finisher, like what are you like? I can't stand people just like slag people off for like, they should have done this. Yeah, they should have done that. Okay, cool. Hindsight is an amazing thing. But do you know what I mean?
Of course, AJ's sitting there going, oh, you're right. I should have put my fucking hands up. Why did I think
He
that?
gets absolutely coated, AJ, and I actually like him. I like him. I like what he's done. I like all the heavyweights. But yeah, he's got it wrong. But he's also made lots of money. He's also done really well. And like these people ain't gonna like if they say it to his face, bruv, like he will fuck you up. You say to his face, like you're shit. You ain't do. Like AJ's a big guy. Like,
well, they won't. Firstly, they go, "Hi, AJ, can I have a
Can I have a photo? Yeah, it's like that fake shit. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? It makes no sense.
It's because it's not real till they're there. They're not a real person. He's the thought of being around someone like AJ to a normal bloke who's knocking him. It's like a fucking god. It's like he's not even a real person.
Like you can see like people like coaching him, and you can see like his mental health's affected. But he's lost. So what? Yeah. So what?
Like freak as well. Look at his body. Like I've seen him in gyms, like in amateur boxing and stuff.
No, incredible.
Like, he's looked like that since he was 19.
Mate, that man is incredible, and he ain't boxed all his life. He's only done it like since he was like 18.
Yeah.
You got to look at the Usyk's just done it since he was about 5. Difference.
Yeah.
Usyk for me is probably one of the best fighters ever. Usyk's incredible.
Yeah.
He's lost to Usyk twice. Okay, so what? Usyk's beat Fury. Like Usyk's another level. Do you know what
Well, it's interesting because you say about Usyk as well. People say how small he is, right? Now, for anyone who's listening, his last fight, I think he's 6'3", and I think he weighed 104 kilos, right? This is a big guy. Isn't it? Like at a certain point, what I'm trying to say is you're big enough. How big do you need to be?
Big enough to manoeuvre, big enough to operate, but not too big where you're affecting your game. How many of you have seen heavyweights go in there, fat as a pig, and look like a bag of shit.
That's it, mate.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, it's like AJ's first loss to Andy Ruiz. Remember him?
Yeah.
But the rematch, you see the rematch, he was like 20 pound heavier, like a little fat pig.
That's a prime example of throwing a fight away.
Mate.
He could have beat AJ that second fight.
Of course he could.
He could have beat him if he just got his head down and he fell out of his dad Ruiz and he fell out of everyone because they were telling him what he didn't want to hear. And then look at him now.
But he was 20 pounds heavier as well.
20 pounds heavier.
Pounds.
Yeah, 20 pounds heavier, like of fatter than he already was.
Yeah, and he was already fat.
He's already fat. That's ridiculous. That's like another layer of fat. Like, do you know what I mean? And AJ come in fit, ready. Like, come on, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Different, yeah, exactly, yeah. But also, going back to the one who's just lost to Dubois. Dubois, you know, how big's Dubois? 6'4", 115 kilos, I assume?
Dubois, yeah. Again, they were having like a face-off in a chat and you could see Dubois like talking and you think, like, he's not as quick-witted as the others. No. But he's just a killer. He's just in there. He don't give a fuck.
Well, I had this chat on here before with someone else as well about like these two. Like, I'll make it clear what I'm saying about Dubois. When I say like AJ's real clever, he's smart. He's walking out in front of 98,000 people and he's seeing it and he knows the pressure and everything's going with it. Whereas Dubois is more simple, and I don't mean that like he's thick. It's just like brain's more simple.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, I'm going to have a fight. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think that plays a massive part.
Yeah,
he's not a superstar yet. No. He's just a guy.
He's not. He's a great fighter, and he is. But I feel like he hasn't hit the big time.
Mm-hmm.
There's levels of the big time.
And he's come through a lot. Like, did you see him fight Usyk?
Yeah. He got. I mean, that was a good shot. He shot the jab over his jab, didn't he?
But before that, the knockdown, when he went down with a low blow.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a low blow, bro. I think he might have knocked him out there.
That was a fucking. Yeah.
I was going. I think there's a knockout.
The belt was high, wasn't it? His belt was high.
And either way, the thing I say, whether it was low or not, okay, it didn't hit me in the nuts. It was still sort of.
Because that Don Charles was saying when he was training, was saying, look, you know that weren't fucking low. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, honestly, I think he caught Usyk. I think he done him.
I'll tell you why I think justice be done there, because I think he still had a bit of quitting in then.
Yeah.
Because he rolled over after that. Whichever way you cut it, I think he rolled over.
Yeah.
But since that, he's come on. Because like if you watch him against, what's his name, Big Baby, Jarrell Miller.
Yeah.
The drugs cheat against Joshua, right? Who's been caught about 17 times. Don't quote me on that, but he's been caught more.
No, he has been.
He keeps getting caught.
Yeah. Horrible bloke, isn't he?
He doesn't seem like the nicest fella in the world. But he was under fire in that, and he turned it around. He seemed like he sort of found his arsehole and switched it on.
Yeah. Because Usyk's Usyk only hit him with a jab, but people don't understand, like, it's the power and accuracy how he sets it up.
We lost to Joe Joyce as well. Joe Joyce, shout out Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce,
old club mate of mine.
Another great fighter.
Used to spar with him, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Same
sort of height.
Same sort of size. Roughly, give or take 40 kilos.
I'm about 6'6".
Yeah, exactly.
I'm about 6'5".
I identify as 6'6".
I'm about 6'6". So yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out Big Joe, mate. Hope you're worth this flanger. But he did essentially the same. Broke him down with a jab, and he took a knee. And listen, I know it's easy to say he had a broken orbital. I'm sure he was suffering. But listen, if you're going to be an elite world fighter, if you can get up, you must get up. Right?
Yeah.
And he didn't at the time. But I think he's turned the corner since then.
Yeah. I think as well, like he's going to be great, and he's got age on his side.
Yep.
What's he like? 27.
27, I think. Yeah.
That's a good age. That is
for a heavyweight,
where he is, because he's going to go to about 38, about 10 years. I think AJ's coming to he's been great. I think AJ might be coming to the end. 2-3 fights left. I think AJ. Yeah. I don't think Fury's got much left either.
I think he'll fight Fury. I think if Fury loses to Usyk, I think that makes sense.
Personally, I love Fury. I'm a massive fan, but I think Usyk's going to beat him again. I think Usyk's going to beat Fury.
I think Fury's on a slide. I think a prime Fury would have beat Usyk.
I see it against Usyk. What's his name? Ngannou?
Yeah.
I saw. Oh my goodness! Like.
Well, it's Wilder's gone too, isn't he?
Even with Chisora.
Yeah.
You watch him against Chisora.
Yeah. Okay.
Chisora's a great, tough. I love Chisora.
Yeah.
I think he's amazing. But I just see decline there.
But like Deontay Wilder's a share of himself.
Yeah. Deontay Wilder.
But they fought each other 3 times. Like I think that's took it out of them.
I just think they just took I think the miles on the clock was just so. From both sides was just taken from
also,
both them.
If you look at Josh, when you look at Fury, they live in different lifestyles, don't they?
Yeah.
Like Fury ain't living a lifestyle. He's 36 now, I think 37.
Yeah.
Like that catches you, doesn't it? You can't live like that as you get older.
Yeah, you've got to be like. I think when you get into your 30s, especially like 33 onwards, you've got to be really
switched on, like, and you've got to take care of it. Like you can't get fat like he does.
No, it's what you make it. I think if you live a lot, like you see these 60-year-olds, you think, wow, they're in shape. But they live so well. They don't like. Do you know what I mean?
They're in bed at night.
Do you
know what I mean? They ain't fucking around.
If you look after yourself, you will get more.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like anything. It's like a car, isn't it? Like if you look after it.
And it's consistency. Like, if Fury's not training for free, I don't know if he is, but like, let's just say by the look of his body, it's a fair assumption that he stops training, right? So if he stops training and then you get him back into training, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, he just got that shape, hasn't he, Fury? Like, he always looks like he's not like training. Do you know what I mean?
I'm like you. I'm a massive Fury fan, and I think when he was at his best, I think he'd have beat all of them. That's why I'm a bit disappointed with the Usyk, because I think he'd have beat him. Right?
His best was when he fought just after Otto Wallin, when he had that cut, around about that time. That when he was about, I think he was about 31, 32.
Yeah.
Ran that, and he beat that German guy, and he ran that time when he fought Wilder too.
Yeah.
That time, that was his best time.
Well, I think he's one of the greats ever because of his like ability to get off the floor. Like you mentioned, Lennox Lewis, obviously a great fighter, but we saw Lennox Lewis get chinned and finished. Like Fury will get up every time, won't he? Do you know what I mean?
He's been hit so hard. He's just a war. But I think his story is incredible as well. I think he's influenced so many people, and I think that's why no matter what happens to him, he will always be. Respected because of his story.
Yeah.
His mental health story was, people related to that so much. What he touched on with mental health was, I watched some of his videos and I was getting quite fucking revved up, and I was like, wow, like, this is, do you know what I mean? I've always been a fan of it. I said when he beat Klitschko, I said this is going to be the new reign. I said it to everyone, and not everyone was like, yeah, what, he ain't beating Klitschko. I said, trust me, he's going to beat Klitschko.
Did you say?
Yeah, I called that because I could see Klitschko. I just could see his movement, and you just knew. I could tell, and I actually called that. Yeah,
that's cool.
I did. I actually did. I could see it.
I don't think you had a prayer. And you know what's interesting? You say that there was on a commentary. I can't remember who was on. I know Amir Khan was on there.
Yeah.
Like on the build-up show, and they all picked Klitschko.
Yeah,
and Amir Khan went, no, Fury. He was adamant. And I remember looking at it going, Amir's took too many shots.
Yeah. It was a bit mad, but when he won, and he won a unanimous decision, he had a point took off him
and sang after.
Yeah, he sang. It weren't looking good at the points. Like when it went to points, and it was he had a point deduction. I was like, fucking hell, in Germany, mate? Forget
so that's
it.
how well he did.
Forget it. And he got a unanimous decision. Yeah. And I was like, I'm telling you, this is the new heir to the throne. Yep. And then I went to watch Joshua Klitschko in his last fight. I went to watch that. That was a great fight.
That was a great fight.
That was a great fight.
It's funny. I was actually at the press conference in the Sky Studios for that one. I had a friend who snuck me in. Like, maybe I shouldn't have said that on here. I got in for that one. Yeah. Allegedly, I got in. But it was mad. That was a big one because I thought Klitschko looked good in that fight, didn't he? And I thought he turned it around at one point.
Yeah, like when he got knocked down and he got up and then he sort of did that in and out thing, and then he hit him with that cross.
Yeah.
He went down. You know, like you get knockdowns and you get like heavy knockdowns. Like fair play to Joshua. That was a heavy knockdown. Yeah, man. But he just caught him. I just think he was just that bit stronger and a bit young.
15 years younger, and he, like, do you know what I mean? That pays dividends, doesn't it?
Klitschko was at the end. Klitschko was strong for about 7 rounds. Yeah. And then that was it.
But Klitschko's one of them as well that gets appreciated more now. After. For how great he was.
His brother was good as well, but his brother had issues with quitting and all that. Do you remember he got hit in the eye and they were like, oh, he quits. And then he had that fight with Lennox Lewis and he got that fucking uppercut and his fucking half his head was hanging off. And then he was a legend. Do you know? But he lost that fight. Again, sometimes, look, this sport is the only sport where you can win and everybody respects you, and you lose.
You're shit.
Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Do you know? But even if you lose, you can gain respect, basically, is what I'm saying.
Well, I've heard people since the AJ fight recently. This might come out a bit later, so we might be a bit of a time delay. But as we're here now, it's about 3-4 weeks ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're I've had people like sit there and go, about, do you watch the boxing? I said, yeah, do you watch it? And they went, he's fucking useless, that AJ, ain't he? All that money, all this. And you know, you look at it and you don't even know where to start. You just go, all right, man, fucking hell.
Like, you're just like, let's just fucking back the fuck up a sec. Yeah. Olympic champion, world champion, not bad.
He's all right.
No,
And the first to ever do that from Britain as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
second. James DeGale was first.
James DeGale. Audley Harrison.
Audley Harrison didn't win a world title, though.
He
got
was
gold medal.
He was gold medal.
But I meant gold medal.
What about? Yes, he was world champion. He was the best. No, Audley Harrison. Listen. Audley Harrison was a good amateur, but yeah.
And another one deserves respect to the average man in the street, right?
Mate, listen, Olympic champion. Are you serious?
European champion as a pro.
Mate, listen, amazing career. Whatever anyone says, But people just want to look at the negative.
I don't like people criticising fighters at all. That rubs me wrong. I just go, do you know what? You can't even walk in their shoes.
You couldn't even spar, let alone you couldn't even do a 3-minute round.
Mate, you're not even brave enough to go to the gym in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like when he fought Hay, Harrison was over the top. Do you know what I mean? And like Hay is a great finisher. David Hay.
And in his day, exactly.
David Hay is one of the hardest punchers this country's ever had.
Yeah.
Great fighter, David Hay.
And he's great. In his day, he was a fucking serious
But
fighter.
again, his body just shut down in the end, and I think that was the end. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't quite big enough for a heavyweight. I don't think. Great cruiserweight.
Exactly.
Wasn't quite big enough for a heavyweight.
And he got through on the power because his punch power was heavy.
Power. But you know, he got knocked down. He got up. You know, but great fighter. But yeah, Harrison was good. You know, we can't knock him. But obviously,
it's levels, isn't it? It's
levels,
as simple as that. It's just level. But the thing is, like, where the annoying side of it comes in is people don't see the levels. They don't see they're 1,004 levels down from him.
Or they see their most recent fight and they lose. They go, oh, he's shit. And then they go, and that person will go, oh, he won so and so. Oh, I've seen him fight. He's shit. And you're going, whoa, you're judging him on a fight. Yeah. One fight you've seen. Yeah. You know, if he lost every single fight he's ever had, you'd go. Yeah. But I still wouldn't criticise him. I'd still go, yeah, whatever, so what?
Yeah, but that's because you know.
Yeah, because I know, because you can have a spring of 2-3 losses in a row. That can happen. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that you're finished. It means...
And I'll tell you what I think makes it hit home as well, is like when I was amateur boxing, you go through it and you see so many bad decisions and so many fucking things that go on. It's just... And it's like, it's not even a business at amateur boxing, do you know what I mean? No. It's just dirty. It's just fucking like scumbag.
It happens a lot in all sports decisions. Like when it goes to a decision... You can't, unless there's been a knockdown or a count, that fight ain't yours.
No,
like I've had fights where I've won on points and you're like, this could have gone either way. And then I've had fights I've lost on points and you're like, I've won this. Sorry, I've definitely won this. And they got it, and you're like, mate, how have they fucking won that? Yeah. What the fuck? Points, judges, opinions. It's.
And also, some of it ain't even opinion. Some of it is they just want that boy to win, so they'll choose him.
I've had it before, like, and you look at the and you're like, you know what I mean. Sometimes, but that's life, and that's a sport. That's something you've got to put in your mind that could happen if it goes points. Yeah. Just shake hands, whatever, walk out. But if you know you've won, you've won. And the beauty of nowadays is everything's filmed, so you can just chuck it on and go.
There you go.
Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think.
That's it.
And then people going, oh, you won, or do you know what I mean? And then
absolutely. And then
by the end of it, you're like, okay, cool, fuck it.
I feel better now. Yeah. And what's next for you, mate, in terms of fighting and stuff? Where are we in the career?
My next fight, I was looking to MTGP in Sheffield, the 16th of November. I'm not too sure what's happening with that, but I'm going to Thailand on the 20th of November. So it's a bit close, isn't it? It's a bit like that's 4 days.
Is it a holiday or training?
It's a training. It's a training film. I'm going to go out there and train.
Just yourself?
Our fight team. Our fight team are going out there, and my partner Faith. We're going out there.
Lovely.
It's going to be good fun.
Where are you off to? Which part?
Phuket. We're going. Phuket. I've never been, so I'm like, this is
been 4 times Phuket.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going out there training.
Where are you training at?
I'm not too sure with the gyms. My coach has got all the information. I'm just sort of following the leader. Yeah, I'm just sort of going with it. I'm just they'll be like, do this, do that, and I'm like, yeah.
Keep that pad.
Never know. I might have a fight out there.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, wow, nice. Did you fight Muay Thai as well?
No, but
you might.
I'm intrigued to do it. We'll see. Like, I'm not saying, but my next fight is the 7th of December on CFS. I've got a tough matchup against a guy, good, strong fighter. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, it's December 7th. I've just fought 2 weeks ago. I told you I had the calf kick incident. Calf kicks incident. Yeah, I didn't fucking spoke to you about that. That was a bit of one of them. Come out to box. Like I say, every box was ticked. We were good to go. Come out heavy on that lead leg. Guys just backed up and just kept kicking that calf.
Right. Was it a tall guy?
He was a big guy. Yeah. He weighed in a bit heavier than me on the night. He missed weight by a little bit. Good and bad because he didn't take my ranking spot. That's good.
There you go. So it didn't happen.
Bad, but because he was significantly bigger.
But you said 2 weeks ago, I come in here, you look fine, so you got.
I've shook it off quicker than I expected. I thought the way my shin was looking, the way he was hitting it, because I just kept walking forward. I should have, looking back, hindsight's a great thing. But it was like a whole round of like continuous. He just kept kicking the calf. Every time I went to engage, he stepped back. He said after, he's like, I weren't going to engage boxing with you till later. You know, he weren't going to engage. And I was like, bruv, you fall for the oldest trick in the book. Yeah. You cover everything, and that's what I'm learning.
Except that, yeah.
And the oldest trick in the book, get calf kicked.
Yeah.
You know about calf kicks, right?
Yeah, I've heard a few. They're nasty. You only have to do like a couple of them on the calf.
Couple of them, but these were like full pelts, like full swings, and the more they were hitting, the less I was aware of where my leg was and stuff like that. But me and him I'm sure we'll fight again. But he just on that night he had a game plan. He played it. It worked. And sometimes at the highest level, this is what this is.
Because like you said, at the highest level, it's so fucking close, isn't it? If you can pull something out like that.
If he can pull it, like I'm coming in to engage to fight, I'm like, right, let's go. Cool. Come on, let's fucking have it. He's going to hit me, and I'm looking to spin, pivot, counter, and all that. And he's kicking my leg. I'm like, whoa. This is. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. You know. So you learn. You learn.
That's it. But exactly.
You learn. Yeah. You learn. But he's a good. He's a good, strong fighter.
Nice.
But he was quite significantly bigger on the night. But yeah, we'll just leave it.
So are we on a bulk, or are we're going to make him make weight next time?
Well, I mean, I need him to make weight because fucking hell. I mean, I come in at 75.5 kilos,
which is hard for you. You said, right?
Yeah, I mean that's me, like quite small. I mean, as a cut goes, but I wanted to come in, light. I wanted to make I want to be lean. I want to be fit. I want to, be volumey and.
Well, we got to do it the other way next time. Make him get down and come in.
I've got to come in. I might come in at fucking 80 odd kilos, and then you'll see the difference. Because me heavier to me lighter is a different. For anyone that fights, them 2 kilos are a big difference. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what. I don't think he was about a kilo. He was over. It wasn't like mad, and it was cool anyway. That wasn't the difference why he won or whatever. I'm just trying to say that it didn't help on my behalf because if I was that bit. Heavier, I believe I could have wore that little bit more where I was that bit lighter. I couldn't. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
All the little X's and O's that add
well
up.
done to him. Good luck in his career, but
except when he fights him again.
Yeah, the story's not finished.
Yeah,
the story's not finished. But good luck to him. He's a nice guy. It is what it is. But to be continued.
Till next time,
To be continued for sure.
And are you a fight fan? Like a lot of guys I speak to on here don't actually like watching fights.
I'm a fight fan to a point, but I'm so heavily involved in it. It's all about what's going on around me, or what's going on at my gym.
I got you.
Being honest.
Yeah. What do you watch mostly? Is it boxing or Thai fighting?
K1.
Or whatever? K1.
Glory.
Right. Who's the guys to watch out for?
Well, I like some of the legends. Obviously, Overeem, Badr Hari, Rico.
Is Rico still going? Yeah, is he still champ?
Rico's the man, mate. Yeah. So because obviously that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to watch. With boxing, with boxing, it can be a little bit detrimental to what I'm doing because if again I went in that last fight with a boxing fucking stance, and then boom, it's like is this really happening? Like I was just like But what I'm trying to say is you got to try lock into what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever go to Holland and do the training?
No, I want to do it. It's something I need to do. Yeah. I need to go to Holland. I need to train out there before my time's up. I want to fight like either in Germany. France or Holland, one of them European, because for me, kickboxing in Europe is where it's at.
Well, mate, all three.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it's at. Yeah. For me, that's where it's at. Is Europe.
Yeah.
You get a European title against a legit organisation against a top European.
They count.
That's as good as anything for me.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Have you got any ambitions to go? Like you said, you want to fight in Thailand. Have you got any ambitions of going and having like a little run at a Muay Thai title?
Muay Thai, maybe one day. I don't know. At the moment, I'm just sort of taking every fight as it comes and just evolving as I'm coming. As I'm getting that little bit older, maybe my pace might slow, so Thai might suit me that little bit more. We'll see.
Have you got an exit plan? Have you got a time where you want to get out?
I want to wrap things up by about 36, 35, 36.
Still plenty of time.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just getting started. Like 4 years is crazy.
Nice.
4 or 5 years. Like how much you could achieve in that.
Mate,
it's a lot. If you're actively fighting, but sometimes you've got to take them L's to get where you want to get. Do you know what I mean? John Duran, he actually mentioned that to me. He said, if you're looking to fight actively, accept losses, but accept a lot of wins as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Accept.
John's mad, isn't he? John still wants to fight now.
John's still going.
John's still going.
John and me still spar.
Do you? Well, when I was talking to him on the podcast, he was like clenching his fists and I thought we was going to have to spar at one point. He was going, man.
Yeah, John.
Fire still burns.
John is John's one of them. him and this guy I know, Charlie Bibby, they're two guys. I just don't see them ever retiring.
They just keep going.
Just like that phone will go and they'll go, yeah, I'm going again. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, and they're like in their 40s, but you got to respect that, man. You got to respect that because they're so tough and conditioned over the years. They develop this this mindset that I don't think the younger generation have, that they've built up over the losses and the wins, and they just got this mindset where they just don't give a fuck about anything or anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that's what John has.
He's definitely a real fighter.
He is. He's a great friend, and he's an incredible. I've learned a lot from him. From him. He's been very good to me.
Nice.
Very good to me.
Oh, man, Chad, John will get you back on there at some point.
John's a man, mate. Seriously.
Great guy.
Good coach as well.
Yeah, I got you, mate. So before we wrap up, mate, is there anything you want to plug? Obviously, you got your fight date and whatnot.
Yeah, December 7th. That's the next one. So tune in and watch me. It's all pay-per-view on CFS, I believe it is. But yeah, just keep on top of my journey, and thank you for having me.
Nice one. Thank you for doing it, mate. Thank you very much, mate. There's one more question. That's why I didn't shake your hand yet.
Yeah.
We've got all the Instagrams and whatever you want in the description, mate, below.
I've got two accounts. I've got my Iron Fitness account, which is my business account. Follow that one and just my personal one.
We'll put them below, guys, and whatever. But before we finish, most important question I was asked. You mentioned football earlier. Which football team you support?
I'm a Chelsea supporter.
Hey,
that's Grandad. Mate, listen. My stepson's an Arsenal supporter.
Off him. Get rid of him.
No, this gets worse.
Uh-oh.
My son had his Arsenal kit on when he was younger, and I was like,
"What are you up to?"
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on here? Like, we're gonna set him faith." He's like, "Oh, you don't understand." I said, "No, you don't."
He's going to understand.
You don't understand. Like, Grandad's gonna be like turning in his grave here. You got to change that. But yeah, I'm Chelsea. I'm Chelsea. I'm actually a big Chelsea fan, but
good man. So am I. So we have to go to some games. We might have to get some tickets.
I haven't been to Stamford Bridge in a long time. It's something I really want to do. I want to take my boy there.
Do you know what? I used to go a lot, and I've recently this season I've been to a few games, and it's the first time for about 10, 12 years. So I'm back on the thing. So we'll talk off camera, mate. We'll get some tickets together and we'll get over there.
Yeah.
But always finish off at the end, mate. Fists up like this. Squeeze the neck. Boom.
Boom.